Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear brothers and sisters. Why do we share our problems with everyone? Sometimes it feels natural. We want someone to listen, to understand, or simply to vent. In today's world, sharing has become easier than ever. Social media, group chats, even casual acquaintances become sounding boards for our troubles. But have you ever stopped to think about the cost of this? When we tell everyone our problems, what do we really gain? Often, instead of relief, we end up feeling more drained. Our private struggles become public knowledge, subject to judgment, gossip, or indifference. Sometimes, the very people we trusted may unintentionally betray us by sharing our vulnerabilities further. This can leave us feeling isolated, more burdened than before. True relief, the kind that mends the heart and restores peace, doesn't come from the world. It comes from turning inward and upward to Allah. Allah is closer than anyone can imagine, always ready to listen without judgment, to comfort without conditions. Unlike human ears, His mercy never tires and His understanding never fails. Think about it. How many times have you felt exhausted after pouring your heart out, only to feel empty afterward? The emotional exhaustion that comes with oversharing is real, and it's happening to many of us right now. In fact, recent social media trends show a growing number of people overwhelmed by oversharing their personal issues online, only to face backlash, misunderstandings, or even cyberbullying. A well-known example is the viral story of a young woman who shared her family problems in a live video stream. What she thought would bring support instead led to harsh criticism and hurtful comments from strangers, leaving her feeling more alone than before. This cycle is painful and preventable. Imagine a source of comfort that never runs dry, a listener who knows your pain intimately, yet asks for nothing in return. That is Allah. Have you ever felt more drained after telling your problems to others? Share your experience in the comments. Your story might help someone else feel less alone. Tell us, how do you find peace when life overwhelms you? Is it through prayer, silence, or something else? We want to hear from you. Before starting this video, don't forget to like this video because it gives us a lot of strength to continue sharing beneficial content. And I invite you to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell to stay informed of our next publications on the Islamic faith. Share it with your loved ones and leave a comment to tell me what you think. Thank you and good video. Psychological and spiritual insight. When life's burdens weigh heavily on our hearts, the instinct to share those troubles is natural. Psychologically, many believe that venting or telling others about their problems can lighten the load. However, research shows that oversharing may not always bring relief. Studies in psychology suggest that repeatedly talking about painful experiences without constructive support can actually reinforce negative emotions, sometimes increasing stress and feelings of helplessness. This phenomenon is known as rumination, where instead of healing, one keeps reliving the pain. Moreover, when we share our deepest struggles widely, we risk exposure to judgment, misunderstanding, or even betrayal. The relief we seek may turn into new wounds, deepening our emotional exhaustion. This is why mental health professionals often recommend being selective about who we confide in, and even more importantly, turning to inner spiritual resources for comfort. Spiritually, Islam teaches us a profound secret. The ultimate source of peace and relief is Allah alone. Unlike people, Allah's mercy never tires. His closeness is not limited by distance or time. Allah Himself says in the Quran, "And when my servants ask you concerning me, indeed I am near. I respond to the invocation of the supplicant when he calls upon me." Quran 2:166. This verse highlights a beautiful truth. No matter what troubles you carry, Allah is closer to you than your own heartbeat. He listens attentively, understands perfectly, and responds in the best way, often beyond what we can imagine. Have you ever stopped to truly feel that closeness? To realize that in your darkest moments, when no one else understands, Allah is right there, ready to hear your whispered prayers, your silent cries? This realization can transform despair into hope. Let's reflect on a powerful recent example from around the world. In the chaos of natural disasters, such as the devastating earthquakes in recent years, many survivors have faced unimaginable loss. But amid the rubble, numerous stories emerged of individuals finding solace and strength through prayer and faith. One such story is of a young mother in a refugee camp who, despite losing everything, found peace in her daily prayers. She said, "When I talk to Allah, my heart calms. The world is broken around me, but inside, I find strength I never knew." Her faith became her refuge, a sanctuary where pain softened and hope blossomed. This is the power of spiritual connection, turning from outward noise to inward peace. The mind and soul are not separate. They deeply influence one another. When we place our trust in Allah, our psychological well-being improves, and the heart finds a tranquility that no worldly conversation can provide. Do you believe Allah is closer than your own heartbeat? Write yes if you feel this connection, or I want to feel it if you're still searching. Have you ever prayed and felt a moment of peace? Share your story below to inspire others who are searching for that connection. Lessons from Quranic stories. Prophet Yusuf, Joseph. One of the most inspiring stories in the Quran, filled with lessons about hardship, patience, and trust in Allah, is that of Prophet Yusuf. Joseph, peace be upon him. His life was marked by betrayal, suffering, and trials that would have broken many, yet he endured with unwavering faith and reliance on Allah. Yusuf's own brothers, jealous of their father's love for him, plotted against him. They threw him into a deep well, left him alone and vulnerable, expecting him to be lost forever. Instead of complaining to everyone or blaming the world, Yusuf turned to Allah with patience and hope. Allah's plan was greater than his hardship. Later, Yusuf was sold into slavery, falsely accused, imprisoned, and isolated from the world. Despite these unimaginable trials, he never lost faith or allowed his heart to be consumed by despair. His story is a powerful example of how silent reliance on Allah can transform even the darkest moments into a path of eventual triumph. The Quran beautifully captures his patience and reliance on Allah. Indeed, my Lord is subtle in what He wills. Indeed, it is He who is the knowing, the wise. Quran 12 and 100. And put your trust in Allah, and sufficient is Allah as disposer of affairs. Quran 33:3. Yusuf's story reminds us that complaining to everyone around us or sharing our pain with those who may not truly understand can sometimes cloud our trust in the one who is truly capable of changing our fate. Imagine if Yusuf had told everyone about his problems at every step. Would he have survived the betrayal, the prison, or the silence? Perhaps not. His quiet patience and complete trust in Allah's wisdom and timing are what ultimately led to his elevation, reuniting with his family and becoming a leader who saved nations. This story isn't just ancient history. It echoes in the lives of many today. For example, consider the story of a young entrepreneur who was betrayed by close partners and faced ruin. Instead of shouting his problems to the world, he sought strength in prayer and patience. Over time, his quiet faith led to new opportunities and personal growth, making him stronger spiritually and mentally. His journey mirrors Yusuf's in many ways, enduring hardship silently, trusting in Allah's plan, and emerging stronger. These modern stories remind us that patience and trust are timeless keys to overcoming hardship. If Prophet Yusuf had told everyone his troubles, would he have survived? What do you think? Comment your thoughts. Can you relate to Yusuf's story? Share a time when patience and trust in Allah changed your life. Contemporary real-life stories, finding solace in prayer. In today's fast-paced and often overwhelming world, many people face crises that test their faith and resilience. Yet, even amid these struggles, some find profound comfort and strength by turning inward toward prayer and a deep connection with Allah, rather than outwardly sharing their troubles with everyone around them. Consider the story of a frontline healthcare worker during the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic. Every day, she faced exhaustion, loss, and fear. The pressure to vent and share her anxiety was immense. But instead of pouring her worries onto social media or even close colleagues, she found a quiet refuge in prayer. Each night, after long shifts, she would sit in stillness and speak to Allah, seeking patience and strength. The spiritual connection became her sanctuary. It allowed her to process her pain without becoming overwhelmed by it. Rather than broadcasting her fears, she channeled them into hopeful supplication and trust. Another story comes from a refugee who escaped war and loss. Forced to leave everything behind, he grappled with despair and uncertainty. While many around him openly complained and despaired, he found peace through silent prayer. His faith became a source of hope and resilience, helping him to rebuild his life step by step. By turning to Allah privately, he gained the inner strength to face each new challenge with courage and dignity. Similarly, a young man recently laid off from his job felt the sting of failure and uncertainty. Instead of venting his frustrations on social media, he turned to regular prayer and reflection. This spiritual practice grounded him, helping him to see his situation not as an end, but as a test from Allah. He began volunteering and helping others, finding renewed purpose and peace through service and faith. These stories illustrate a powerful truth. When we rely too heavily on sharing our problems openly and constantly, it can create a communal atmosphere of negativity and exhaustion. People become overwhelmed not only by their own issues, but by the issues of others. This can lead to a cycle of complaints, judgments, and emotional burnout. On the other hand, private reliance on Allah brings a quiet, sustaining strength. It helps us to manage our emotions, build patience, and cultivate hope. It protects our hearts from becoming burdened by public scrutiny or gossip. And importantly, it encourages us to support others with compassion rather than judgment.